Well, collectors, I hope you're all doing well now that we're into the fall in early October. What we decided to do with some of these unboxings, one of the biggest problems we were having was that we would put the video up the day after we did all the unboxing, and I hadn't had a chance to record the things or even price the things, so it was kind of helter-skelter around here. So we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to let the unboxing video sit a couple days for us to get the background work done, and I think that'll make it easier on everybody. But I'm glad that you enjoy these, and we're gonna keep doing them. Before I start, I get an awful lot of emails about what kind of booze am I drinking and what kind of cigars am I smoking, and I thought maybe I would put that to rest by just show you. This is the booze I drink. It's called Imperial, as you can see, and it cost a whole $15.95 for a half a gallon, so you can't get any cheaper than that. But I like it, and I drink about a half a gallon of it a week, mostly at night, not during the day, and I enjoy it very much, and it doesn't give me a hangover. Of course, I guess if I drink too much, it might. So that's what it is, and I mix it with a little bit of Diet Pepsi, and that's what I have here. So cheers, collectors. Ah, yes, that's a good one. Before I start the video, I also get a lot of emails where collectors like these little stories that I tell about the past and some of the experiences that I've had in collecting. So I thought I would give you another one today that I hope will be of interest to you. You older collectors have heard of the Great Western Show in California, and maybe you younger people haven't, but the Great Western Show was a tremendous concept where it was started by a husband and wife, a gal named Mary and her husband Frank, and they rented the Los Angeles Fairgrounds to have this humongous show. It was built as a gun show and a military show, but it virtually had anything there. And they also had a lot of different contests they ran, best costume or best hot chili maker and things like that. And they had bands playing throughout the whole facility. There were 7 buildings where the show was held, and also about 1,000 tables outside if you were unfortunate enough to get a table inside. So the show had probably about 4,000 tables. It was huge, and it would start out in a parking lot on Thursday in the morning, and all of the dealers would get into the parking lot about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and a lot of guys just put stuff on their car hoods or threw a blanket down on the terrazza and set up shop there. And I have to say that many times that I went to that show, the best part of the show was that pre-opening out in the parking lot. I mean, you'd even see Steve Wolf with a couple $1 million worth of diamond badges sitting on the concrete driveway. So it was really something. But in order to get into the show during the setup time when it officially opened, of course, you had to have a table, or you could buy a badge to get in early that day, which was a whole $15. It doesn't seem like much money today, but I guess back in the days I'm talking in the 1981, 1982, we were all getting started in this business, and every dollar counted. So just have to have a drag. So one day I'm wondering how I'm going to get in, and who walks up but my friend Colonel Tom Johnson. We had known each other a couple of years before that, and had become pretty good friends. And old TJ comes up, "Hey, Whitman, how are we going to get in the show?" I said, "Well, I guess we'll have to spring for that $15." He said, Tom was always he was a bit tight. I mean, I've been with him where he says, "Let's have coffee," and we go up to the counter and he tells the waitress separate checks. So he really watched his money. But as we were considering how we were going to get in the show, along comes a dealer by the name of Bob Johnston. I'm sure most of you people know Bob Johnston. He has a fabulous displays of bronzes and tremendous edged weapons and just great stuff. And Bob had a one of these RV vehicles with a trailer on the back, and I said hello to him, and he said, "You guys got a pass to get in?" I said, "Nah." He says, "Well, why don't you guys jump into the back of my RV and get up on the top bunk and put a blanket over top of you." And we looked at each other, TJ and I, and okay, so we did that. And there we were, sneaking into the show in Johnston's RV underneath a blanket. And I just think today we went on both to become fairly successful people, and I would have loved to have had a picture of that happening. But once you got into the show, it was just an amazing thing. I remember one time I had just got set up and the show opened, and a fella came in, and he's got a bag on his back, and he reaches into the bag and he pulls out this dagger, and he says, I've got this first model Luftwaffe dagger. I want to sell it, and I know what it's worth. I want $400. And I looked at the dagger, and he said, "I want $400. I don't want any less." I said, "Okay," and I reached in my pocket and I gave him the $400, and he walked away. And the dagger was not a first model Luftwaffe. It was a 55 centimeter DLV officer dagger, which at the time was worth about $3,500. So I didn't feel that I needed to tell him anything because he already knew it all and knew what he wanted. So hey, that's the way it is when you're behind the table. If he had come up and asked me what it was and what it was worth, I would have been happy to tell him that. I also had another experience of that show where I told you they had tables outside, and I went outside to get they used to have these Mexican sandwiches. It was a great place. The sandwiches were just fantastic. There'd be a guy behind the booth there cutting up meat with a rusty hatchet, and you go, "Oh my God." But they were delicious. You bite into them and the whole thing would go all over your shirt, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. But let me see, what was I? Oh yeah, I went outside, and I walked past the table, and on the table was a army dagger with a double-edged blade. And I'm looking at it, and it was an original etched with the eagle in the center of the obverse blade, and the guy says, "That's a reproduction." I said, "Oh, I see. Yeah, how much is it?" He says, $100. So again, I gave him the $100, and at that time that dagger was worth about $2,000. So what I'm saying is that sometimes luck can be with you, and those kind of things you remember a lifetime. But that show was the most wonderful show in the world. You would see guys walking around like Pancho Villa, dance hall girls walking around with hardly nothing on, and just the craziest people. I remember there were two 6'2" guys, both dressed as SS generals, and I'm not sure I think they were a little acey-deucey, but that was part of the show. So that was something that I went to every year. It was held twice a year in May and in November, which was fantastic Southern California weather. And then one day, the county of Los Angeles decided that, oh, that's it, we're not going to have guns anymore, and they just completely canceled the show, and thousands and thousands of people were hurt by that, to say nothing of all the hotels and restaurants in the area. And maybe the good thing, though, was that Mary and Frank were hurt the most, because they ran the show with an absolute no-caring iron hand. I mean, here they had all these thousands and thousands of people, and the money they made was just incredible. And Mary would get onto the loudspeaker and say something like, "You dealers, I'm so sick of you parking your vehicles in illegal places. We're going to have them towed away, and you're thrown out of the show if that happens." And stuff like that, and you go, wow. And I had a friend that had a booth in one of the outer buildings. He had like a Luftwaffe type display, and he wasn't happy where he was, and he wasn't happy with the people that were next to him. And he told me, he said, "I'm going to go see Mary, and I'm going to get my table changed to another building." I said, "Well, good luck with that." And so I saw him later, and I says, "How'd you make out with Mary?" He says, "Well, not so good. I'm packing my things up now. She threw me out of the show." So that's what happens when a show is jam-packed. The dealers are no longer the boss; the owners are. But that's the way they were. And then they'd pull their Rolls Royce up at the end of the show, park it out front, open the trunk, and fill the trunk up with laundry tubs of cash. So whatever, they did run a great show in spite of themselves, and it's all history now. And but one of the really good memories, I met a lot of wonderful people there. People from all over the world would come, and I guess we'll never see that again. But sorry if I'm too long with that, but I thought you'd like to hear about that. Okay, now we'll go to the unboxing. Alright, collectors, we're going to start with the unboxing. Ah, yes. Now, let's see what we got here. Here's the first box. Like I say, I don't know what's in these, so you're seeing them for the first time too, but let's hope that there's something good. Okay. That's some good wrapping paper here. That's always nice to see. And what do we got here? Well, it doesn't look like anything that's going to knock you off your chair, but let's see what it is here. Aha. Yeah, well, this is a fireman's bayonet in kind of average condition, maybe a little below average. There's a lot of paint missing from the scabbard, but the hilt's okay. And let's see what the blade looks like. Well, the blade's not great either. No maker. Well, I don't know. This is not something that I really want to buy, but I'm sure it'll be very reasonable. It does have a good frog on it. And here's something that's kind of a salvation too, I think. It's got a real nice throttle here. It's NCO Army throttle. Doesn't have anything to do with the fire department bayonet, but that throttle is probably worth $75 or $80, I hope, and so maybe that'll help us out with that one. Well, anyhow, it's not always great things, but at least it's real. Alright, that's number one.
Just the one thing in that box?
Just that's one? All that was in there, yeah. I'm pretty sure. Let me, yeah, disappointingly, that's it. Oh well, what are you going to do? Okay, let's see what this next box is. It feels a little heavier. Looks like everything's nicely wrapped here. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, quite a few things it looks like, yeah. Well, I think I can see an SA dagger. Yeah, and a nice one too. Yeah, look at that, collectors. The it's got a very nice grip on it and a nice looking scabbard. Good nickel fittings, and let's see, it's got a group mark on it, BO. That's one you don't see too often. And let's see how the blade looks. Yeah, nice. So that's pretty good. SA daggers have really been hot with the amount of new collectors coming into the to the marketplace. We can't seem to keep SA daggers in stock. Oh, and I see it's made by Justinus Work. You don't see that one too often with that hatchet logo. So that's a pretty good piece. I do see, now that I'm looking closer, the scabbard has paint on it. Usually these should be anodized. So it looks to me as though it was painted at some time in the past. So that takes a little bit away from it, but still a very nice early dagger. Let's see what else we got here. Aha! Another SA dagger. Wow, I like this one. Wow. It's got really nice nickel fittings with the hanger, early hanger, and the grip is really pretty. It has a lot of nice color furniture type wood to it, and the anodizing is pretty good on it. Looks like the ball is good on the bottom, and see how nice that grip fits too. Really, really tight. I like that. And let's see what the back of it. Yeah, it's got a group of number on it there. NO. Let's see what the yeah, that scabbard, the back of it's really nice on the anodizing. See what the blade looks like up. Yeah, very nice, not too bad. Not mint. It's not as bright as it should be on a mint blade, but it's still pretty nice. And I love this maker mark. Filling work. The circle with all the arrows going around it, like it's circling around in motion. That's a company that made a lot of the blades for the cigar clippers that you see. Actually, they made the blades for the AH cigar clippers also. So that's pretty good. especially with that looks like the original to the piece hanger. Let's see what else is here. This is kind of nice. This is a mid-period NSKK, and it's got plated cross guards, and they're not bad. There's a little bit of lifting in them, but not much. A coppery eagle that you see sometimes with the black painted scabbard with nickel plated scabbard fittings, and then to set it off it has a vertical hanger. Wow, that's really a nice hanger. The hanger looks earlier to me than the dagger because the clip is solid nickel. So chances are this vertical may have been on a earlier dagger at one time. Very nice though. Oh, good blade too. Good Alles für Deutschland. And we'll see who the maker is. It's an RZM. Kind of a different one you don't see. RZM M781, and it was made in 1940. I think that's a fairly rare RZM mark. Not something you see all the time. So that's not a bad piece. And then there's also a belt loop grip retainer leather. So
yeah, I think that hanger at your stomach is for that filling work. That's a 3-piece on here.
Oh, that came off of this one?
They came out of the bag with that.
Well, we want to...
I guess the owner just didn't attach it to the grip.
Yeah.
But
yeah, well, that's...
Don't mix that up.
No, I won't. I'll put it on the hanger here so I don't get it mixed up. Good eye, Ob.
Yep.
Good eye.
Watch out.
All right, well, that's 3 fairly good things there that we're glad to have. Yes, sir. And some free bubble wrap. Always glad to have that too. Okay, nothing earth-shaking so far, but we'll see. Before I open this box, I wanted to ask you guys an opinion. I have a collector friend, a man by the name of Nick, that thought that we should have a different logo for our WAM, Whitman Antique Militaria, and he cleverly constructed this using runic type insignia. I'm just wondering what you guys think of it. Maybe give me some comments if you have any. I think it's pretty cool. It might look nice on our letterhead. Okay. Now we'll see what's in here. I had a sign for it, so it must be something that's fairly valuable. We shall see. Let's see, there's a little letter here. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember this guy was going to send this in. Yeah, let's see what this looks like. Get these papers out of the way. Got a little cotton for my ears if I get tired of hearing myself. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah, this looks cool. Oh yeah. Wow. Smells like mothballs. Wow, look at this, collectors. Wow. Isn't that nice? This is a Luftwaffe officer summer white hat. I believe that the white part comes off of the cap. It just pulls out so that you could launder it accordingly And look at the condition. The visor has no attic crazing whatsoever. Nice chin cord and beautiful aluminum insignia. And then it's piped in yellow for flight. And let's see what the inside looks like. Well, it's relatively plain. I see there's something in here. See that little strap inside there? I think that's the catch to undo the top of the hat. I don't know whether you can see that or not, but and then there's also yeah, there's a name there of the maker, Ludwig Lars, it looks like. So this cap looks to be in extraordinary condition, and I would think extremely desirable. I like it. You guys like that? We don't get all daggers, we get other stuff too. So there you go. Yeah, that's really a nice thing. I'll look forward to listing that, and I'm sure some lucky collector will look forward to getting it too. You don't see many things like that. Now, let's see, drop my cigar. Let's see what else we have here. We got a nice kind of a long box, so that usually means there's something long inside. We'll see. Not too heavy though.
Bunch of tinnies.
Bunch of tinnies, yeah. Wouldn't that be something? Big box like this and there's 3 tinnies inside. They're 2 porta-peas. Well, we shall see. Oh, almost spilled my drink. I can't believe I haven't spilled a drink yet in these boxings. It'll happen though. You know it'll happen. You're just waiting for it, aren't you? I know you are, you guys. You can't wait. Ha ha, Whitman spilled his drink.
Yeah, when you have the SS tunic on the
yeah,
table.
yeah, right. That's when it'll happen. And I know you guys are always saying I'm going to burn something with my cigar too. Let's hope not. Alright. Something heavy in this paper here. Oh good, looks like we got a letter with it. I'm always glad to see that. And some free rubber bands. If I can get them off here. They're really tight. There we go, there's one. Oh well. I like the rubber bands more than I do the tape. So they're a lot easier to get off than some of this tape. Oh, it looks like I'm going to get another sock too. I told you before, you get a lot of socks in this business. And usually they got a hole in them, and it's hard to match them up. But let's see what we got here. Oh, we got more rubber bands. Well, it looks like this sock is all in one piece anyhow. Yeah, if you collect socks, you ought to talk to me. I got a lot of them. Oh. Well, we have another essay here. It's got a really nice hilt and a really nice grip. I like that a lot. Unfortunately, the anodizing is pretty worn on it, but the mounts are nice. The bowl's still good. Yeah, it's worn on the other side too. And it's got a Grupa stamp on it. I can't read it, but maybe you can on the camera. So let's see what the blade looks like. Maybe that's where the salvation is here on this dagger. Well, we got a good blade. A very, very nice blade. And let's see if there's anything to... Oh yeah, it's a Gabruder Heller. I like the Heller pieces with the anchor. They're very popular with collectors. So all in all, not a bad piece. The nice blade gives it a lot too. You know, maybe you can overlook the wear to the scabbard. But anyhow, that's something we can use. I'm gonna put all this away here. Get this out. Put the dagger in there. Okay, well, no home runs here yet, except for maybe that cap. I like that look off a cap a lot. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, this box is got a million labels on it. It comes from somebody in France. Looks like the customs people went all through it and so forth, but it arrived here, so that's good. Let's see if we can get into this without too much aggravation. Looks like we're getting there. Oh, we got another box inside. Chateau La Grave. Oh, what do we get? A box of wine here? Boy, that's a pretty... If it is wine, that'll be nice. It was wine. Let's see if it still is. No wine in there. Sorry, guys. I need a sip before I look. There we go, guys. There's something. Yeah, that's great. I knew there'd be something that you would like here. When I saw that fancy wine box, I figured it had to be more than just a bayonet. Let's see if we can get this to come off here without... No, I guess not. We'll have to give a razor blade to it. Careful. Be careful. I don't want to hit the paint at all. This is all thick though, this stuff. Yeah, here we go. There's one. Oops. The screw came out of my hand here. The lower screw. I don't want to lose that. I guess it must have been loose to begin with. But that's okay. That's not a problem. Well, here we go. Yeah. Yeah, this looks like a pretty nice dagger. Yeah, there we go. We have an early Model 36 chain dagger. It's got a painted scabbard with good paint, and the grip looks really nice with nickel eagle. And it's got a portapee on it, and it's got that Type 1 chain. See there, the way the skulls stand way out on the chain, and the DRGM you can see through the clover leaf. I would think you can see it in there. Yeah, and the chain looks in beautiful condition. Let's see what it looks like on the back. Yeah, there's no rust on the chain at all. And there's the SS Kulturzeichen stamping there. And the paint on the reverse looks good too. So not a bad piece here from what I can see. Let's see what the blade looks like. I hope it's good. Can never have too many chained SS's. Yeah, the blade looks okay. It's the motto is kind of that lighter etch like they did on the earlier ones, which is fine. And then the reverse is got the unmarked blade. Yeah, that's there might be just the slightest bit of sharpening on the edge there that I see, but it doesn't look like it's really bad at all.
There's a gal. There's a
It
gal
also
mark.
has a gal mark on it. You do see chained SS's with gal marks on them a lot, and that was just in that they in 1936 when they first produced them, there were some leftover fittings from all of the SA production. So the Germans, being the Germans, of course, used up the parts rather than waste them. So we do see that quite a bit. So so that's not a bad dagger at all. I'm glad to have it. And
Hold it up again. Yeah.
yeah, isn't that nice?
Beautiful. Okay.
You got to like those Type 1 chains. They really do show well. Okay, so that's the unboxing for the last couple of days, and I'm sure we'll have some more coming in the next couple of days, and we'll join it with this video then. So look for more to come.